Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Michael back at you guys and girls with the real 1%. Another episode of the Military to Civilian podcast. And we got my boy Alan here today. How you doing, brother?
Man, I am doing fantastic, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Like you said earlier, too blessed to stress, dude. 80% don't care, 20% glad at you at the end of the day. So it's no time to worry about what anyone else is thinking, bro. You just got to get on the grind and get after it, right?
Yes, sir. There we go.
Hey, for real. But hey, Alan's here, and I'm not gonna waste no time. If you don't mind, for the listeners out there, let everyone know, where you're from, what branch of service that you joined, and a little bit why you joined the military, and then bring us into your early career and touch on anything you want while you're in the military. Floor is yours, my man.
Oh, I got you, man. So I'm gonna be honest. I did not grow up planning to join the military when I was a kid, right? That was I wanted to be like a CEO or something one day because I thought it would be cool to be like a suit and tie guy with the briefcase and help run a big old corporation. I thought that was just the life.
Yeah.
But I'm originally from Miami, Florida, born and raised. I was there for the majority of my life. Now, growing up, though, the reason that I actually, got into the Navy and what put me in the position that I was in on my track was the way we honestly grew up. So it was me, my mom, and my 4 younger sisters. My mom actually wasn't a U.S. citizen. So if anybody here has ever been raised by a single mother, then you already know it's kind of tough. But imagine being raised by a single mother that's also not a U.S. citizen. It was extremely rough. I remember I was 11, 12 years old, trying to get a little part-time side gig money so that I could help her, pay the rent and things because, funds were just tight like that.
Yeah.
Fast forward and, a little while later on, we actually ended up moving up to Columbus, Ohio, where more of our family was. Living in Ohio in comparison to living in Miami, where we're originally from, was a little bit easier. Like I was saying in the beginning, it was cost of living was a little bit cheaper, schools were a little bit nicer, and everything was a little more relaxed in that area. While we were at that school, I was there for about 2 years before I graduated high school in Columbus, Ohio, which is where I joined the Navy.
Okay.
It was funny because I remember how I got recruited. They had the little pull-up thing going on when it comes to your school with the little pull-up bar.
Yeah.
Like, who can do those pull-ups? So I think I did like 50 pull-ups. And they was like, what? 50 pull-ups, man? We gotta recruit you. But the funny thing is, it was the Marines that I did the pull-ups for. But I didn't want to be a Marine because I was scared. I was like, nah, bro, I've seen too many war movies. I don't want to be a Marine. Yeah. Now, it was fast forward a few months later. It was after I graduated high school. I ended up getting another call from, his name is Petty Officer Chris Carr. He's the one who got me in. And he asked me if I had any plans for when I graduated. And I was like, honestly, I don't. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Like, I don't want to go to school because I don't know what I want to be. And I don't want to be in student debt. I might go get it. I have no idea what I'm going to go do. So he asked me one question. He said, hey, Alan, what if you could get paid to travel the world? I was like,
they love that one.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, wait a minute. I've only ever been to 2 places, Miami and Ohio. So when you say that, okay, that sounds like my kind of deal. So fast forward a little bit longer, I ended up in boot camp that following August when the school year started. So when the next graduating class went to school, I started boot camp.
Okay.
Shell shock. I'm gonna be honest. Like that first couple hours, that first day when you couldn't sleep, I was like, man, I don't know this is me no more. It's a little crazy. They started yelling at me, cursing. I'm like, I don't know no more. But hey, I stuck it through. Obviously, I stuck through it. We got through there, got through boot camp and everything, and definitely had some ups and downs. I remember it was tough, but we did it.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we got to A school, which is, we called it A school in the Navy. I don't know what they call it in the Army.
AIT, yeah, almost same thing. Whatever, yeah.
Okay, and that was where I actually got my job. So just for you guys, I didn't tell you guys earlier, but like the job that I had, it was called CTT. It was a cryptological technician technical. Basically, I did anti-ship missile defense. So my job was to make sure Nobody shot a missile at us or tried to blow up our boat. That was basically my job in a nutshell.
When did you know that you were going to get that job before when you enlisted? Like, did you pick that job? Did they give it to you? Like, or did you give it, like, how'd that work?
So yeah, I actually picked that job
Okay.
before I went to boot camp.
Okay.
But here's the thing, though, now that you reminded me of that question, the way they got me to select that job is the same way they got me to join the Navy. They made it sound cooler than it was. The way he described it to me, he was like, hey, have you ever played Call of Duty? And I was like, yeah, I played Call of Duty. He goes, you ever get a kill streak? I'm like, yeah, I get kill streaks. He goes, cool. How would you like to have the job of the person who does the kill streaks? And I was like, well, that sounds cool. Doing radars and stuff, like doing UAVs and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it was going to be at first. I mean, he wasn't that far off, but he definitely made it sound cooler than it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we got into the Navy, though. Got on my first command. I actually ended up, believe it or not, getting stationed right back in Florida, where I'm originally from. So I ended up being stationed on the USS Iwo Jima. First and only ship I ever been on. It was a great time, though. I think I did deployment in 2017. I did the Trident Juncture. I did 3 total deployments in my 4 years in.
Okay.
My first year, we were out there in the Middle East area. I'm gonna be honest, it was very hot.
That was absolutely, dude.
Yeah, it was literally like a sandbox out there. But it was a good experience, because that was the first time I ever left the country. I ever got to go somewhere, see a different culture, get to experience anything. And I got to cash in on what Chris Carr told me, get paid to travel the world. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to complain because it's hot.
Right.
So still had a great time. That deployment, my first deployment was a little bit shorter than the other ones because I had actually gotten there fresh out of school and they got me to the ship while they were already out on deployment. So I didn't really get to experience the entire deployment my first time around. Now, fast forward, after that first deployment is when we got back home in the States. Now, something that, I personally, I guess, didn't understand or maybe wasn't fully prepared for when we were on deployment was like those work hours. Like, I don't know if you can relate, but having to work for like 12 to like 16 to like 16, 18 hours straight, or like just having to be awake for an entire 24 hours before you go to work. Like little things like that. I'm gonna be honest. Before I got in there, I didn't even expect that to happen, but I had to really get adjusted and learn how to get myself to be able to do that. But also being in the military, you understand the importance, right? Because what we're doing was important.
Right.
Up for hours, maybe working for a long period of time is nothing compared to what folks had to deal with back in World War II or Vietnam, right? So, I kind of got over it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, I feel you on that. I was a cook in the Army, so man, we always had to work on 4 days. We always had to work on holidays. We got shafted the most. Cooks and MPs, dude, always on duty in the military. It seemed like more than anyone else. But yeah, man. Dude, how was it being on a boat, bro? Because I don't have sea legs. I'm not growing them. I'm not getting them. Like, dude, what was your experience like on that, man?
Ooh, so my first deployment, I got seasick so bad. I definitely had to get used to it because I definitely did get seasick going over that Atlantic Ocean, 12-foot waves, whole boat going like this. You in your rack going to sleep, trying to. All you're doing is walking.
Oh man,
controllably.
Bro, I have PTSD from that, dude. On be honest with you, I can't. I've got to stick on cruise ships, so I could only imagine. Like, were you on an aircraft carrier then? Your first boat was it like a big ship? Was it kind of small? Like, what was it like?
It was the ship below an aircraft carrier.
Okay. It was like a city on water, pretty much, right?
Yeah, amphibious warship. Basically, our ship's job was to pick up Marines and take them somewhere else.
Okay.
A pretty big boat, and there's a bunch of Marines on our boat too that was going to some kind of fighting zone or something of that nature.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was answering your question about the I guess life on the ship.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we got back so it's really difficult out to sea, obviously, because that's when the ship's working. But believe it or not, when you're in port, it's basically like you don't really have that much of a job because the ship doesn't really need to do anything because it's in port. You just do like regular little maintenance, little odd jobs, clean up things, stuff like that. Or, you have to stay in duty and have to manual watches.
Okay.
No, it's
or
like
get out of town, right? Or get free liberty or whatever, and get off in the ports. Or it depends on where you go. Like obviously, if you're in Iraq, you're not going to probably get off and go somewhere. But if you went to Dubai or something like that, maybe you got to get a chance to get off. Or what was your favorite destination that you got to go see?
oh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Okay.
Or if you you can ramble off a few, man. If you got a top couple, man, because I'm sure you've seen a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I think the first one of my favorites definitely was Jordan. So
Okay.
Jordan, Aqaba, out in the Middle East, if you didn't know that. But there's this hotel they had. It was a hotel / resort. Now, I don't even think they do this in America, to be honest. But they had a huge pool. Like, I mean, pool was gigantic. There was like 100 people in the pool by itself.
Okay.
But in the middle of the pool, they had a bar and a club circled around the bar in the middle of the pool. And it was crazy. I'm like, yo, we out here in the pool, clubbing, drinking. I'm out here taking shots in the pool. I'm like, I've never done this in America before. I was like, do they even do this in America?
Probably in Vegas, they got a little bit something like that, but probably not on that whole level, man. That's wild, dude. You're out there; it's a real natural oasis, dude. They got out there, man, in the desert. You out? Did you get to see Petra, the rock church or whatever out there in Jordan?
Oh, I did not.
Yeah, you were at the club, dude. What are you talking about, man? That's how we do it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I was stationed in Germany. It's like, did I see all the monuments? Absolutely not. Did I see all the nightclubs? Absolutely. Like, come on, man.
I was what, like I was like 19 at the time.
Yeah.
I was looking for no monuments.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, though, man. Natural wonder of the world, though, out there. But yeah, that's cool. Where else did you like going?
Norway. So I can't pronounce the name of the city, but it's in Norway.
Awesome.
And they did something too I've never done in America. So they had this bar, and the bar sold like alcohol milkshakes and like alcohol ice cream. And I was like, I've never heard of that. Like what this is about. Literally, they had basically any flavor of milkshake you could think of, and they had it spiked. And it was crazy. Like we had a party in the milkshake place because that's how because everyone was like, man, I want a spiked milkshake.
Dude, they actually have that at I'm in Florida, so at the Hard Rock Casino in Tampa, they have like an adult ice cream parlor, and it's all spiked, dude. They took the business model, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna add that to my list. But
we gotta get that going. There's room for more, dude. So, no, that's pretty, dude. So, like going back a little bit because you said something interesting before, like you started touching on the Navy thing. Like you said that you didn't know what you wanted to do after high school, but when you were younger, you thought you wanted to be the CEO of a company. So, what happened in between that you lost that thought?
So it wasn't that I lost a thought. It was that I had I didn't know how I would do it.
Okay.
You know? So like, let me think. I think so. I remember that day actually. I was in 4th grade. You ever had like in elementary school, they're like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And people saying astronaut, doctor, police officer, this and this and that. I said I wanted to be a CEO. I was like 10, 11 years old. Now, over time, having to help my mom pay bills, having to help with my siblings, barely graduating high school. I'm gonna be honest, man. I barely got out of high school. That was a scary one. I remember when I walked past the stage, my guidance counselor was like, "Hey, I'm glad we made it," and gave me a fist bump, and I was like, "I'm glad we made it too." Shoot, I'm glad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was serious, and also crucialness. I never had anybody that could show me it or that would tell me how, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely, I got you.
I had no example to follow. Everybody I knew was either broke, doing something they shouldn't be doing, or working some regular job, or went to college, didn't get the job that they're in college for, and now they're paying student debt. But I had no examples of someone successfully having a business or successfully employing others or providing opportunities. I literally didn't know what it looked like besides what it looked like on TV.
Right. No, I got you. Fair enough. So when you signed up for the Navy, did you think you're just going to do like 4 years and get out? Did you think you're going to try to do it all? Or did you just go in with an open mind and say, I'm going to go see the world and see where this takes me?
Yeah, I went in not sure on what I was gonna do, honestly.
Yeah,
I was gonna play it by ear. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in, do these 4 years that I'm contracted to, And then depending on, if I like it, I'll do another 4. If I don't like it, I'll go to school for free, because now at least, remember, the reason why I didn't want to go to school is because I didn't want to pay for it and be in debt. But now that GI Bill make it free, I'm like, okay, well, now I can do that. I have more options now if I don't want to stay in the military. But I can do 20 years depending on how I feel.
Right.
Obviously, I didn't want to do the 20 years. I can get into that about why if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. What? Okay, yeah. You start hit on your why you didn't do the 20, and also like, yeah, I guess what sort of hit that light switch on to say, hey, I'm not really going to do this for the long haul. When did that even come around? Was it at year 2, 3, like year 1? First, obviously, it might have been the first day of basic training, right? You're like, hey, hold on a minute. Like, hey, man, I ain't trying to lose no sleep. But you're right. They kind of put you through the ringer a little bit. I'm sure everyone's got a different story for they're all basic. We've all been in different times. But yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a culture shock. You're not doing that going to high school. So
yeah.
But what was your? Go ahead, man. You can tell.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. So it was my, like you said, it was early. It was my second year. So my first year, amazing. I got to go to that I got to go to like I was saying, I was in the Middle East. Got to go to that cool old bar. Simple deployment. It was short anyways. Second year, 2018, we went to Tron. Went to the Norwegian areas, Norway type areas. Again, had a pretty good time. But what had happened was when we got back from there, we had a command swap. So the thing about, I don't know how Army commands go, but in Navy commands, every 2 years, the CO leaves.
Yeah, roughly the same.
You get a whole new captain. I didn't know this at the time, but depending on who your captain is, that makes a very big control of the atmosphere of like how everything goes.
Absolutely.
So 2 years in, my CO left. It started just, I don't know, it was weird. It got more restrictive. There were just a lot more things you couldn't do, coming in earlier, staying later, just making it was like real morale hurting things started to just happen out of nowhere once the commands changed.
Absolutely, dude.
And after that, so when I first got to my command, my leadership, like my specific leadership, my chief, my devo, and my command head, they were all one set of peoples. Now, again, it was around second year and a half, roughly, a little bit after my new CO got there. All of my leadership got changed. So, and I'm going to say this because I believe it's true. Now, I never dug deep enough to like put a claim on anybody or anything like that, but I felt very racially ostracized in my group that I was working in. So, like, for example, I was literally the only Black person in my work group.
Yeah.
Wow. Everybody was white. Nobody, and there was like one other Hispanic person, but I was the only one that was Black.
Okay.
And it would be like, it would make me uncomfortable because like it's hard to explain, but like there's just certain things like you can't do and you can't say and you can't behave depending on who's around you. And then the fact that I was the minority in the group, I had no control over how the atmosphere changed around. Like I would be sitting there and it would get really racially weird in the room. And like, I'm the only Black one in there though. So if I feel uncomfortable, I got to just leave the room. I can't really say nothing because I'm outnumbered.
Right. And probably outranked too usually, right? And that's trash at the end of the day because that shouldn't really happen anyway. But you're right. As I'm not a Black man, so I can't feel you on that. But I'm feeling you on it, if that makes sense. Like I understand where you're coming from because that's just bullshit though, man. Because at the end of the day, I've never seen a color in nor should anyone else in the military. It don't matter your creed, you know what I'm saying? Gender. You're all there for the greater good, but unfortunately, that's trash that you felt like that. And I'm sorry, even though I had nothing to do for it, because I don't think you seem like a cool ass dude to me. And you got I'm sure he weren't doing nothing wrong to him, but unfortunately, some people were just sort of raised like that, man. It's unfortunate, but that's just the reality of the world, right? So second year just started like getting weird. And did you try to like? Did you have friends and stuff? Did you have any friends in where you were with, or sort of like did you have friends like outside your own unit, or like what's your inner circle look like?
That was basically it. So here's the thing, and this actually created issues with the group with my unit because. So I was popular. So, and I'm not like that, but like they were weird, if that makes sense, because of the job we had. Right? Think about what I said. I did anti-ship missile defense. We stared at radars and crunched numbers all day. So you can
Yeah.
probably imagine the kind of person to get a job like that. You can probably see my glasses too.
Hey,
So,
Cartier, man.
yeah, a bunch of nerdy people, basically, right? So I
Yeah.
don't know. I never really had, even though I'm a nerdy kind of dude. I don't know. I have people who still like to hang around me, so I don't have much trouble making friends. So
Okay.
I had friends. I had friends with people in all the other units. Like I had the friends that were the cooks, so I used to get hookups when it was time to get food, and then they would get mad like, "How come I gotta eat this rubbish?" And then Pinder get to go to the chief to the CO hall and get like steak, and I'm like,
Eating lobster tail, man.
yeah,
Hey,
I'm
make
like,
friends.
I'm
Cooks,
sorry.
medics, supply. Come on now, man. Y'all gotta make.
Basically,
Come on, dude.
yes, I got hooked up with them. So, and then it got, and then another thing that made it even more weird. Like they would treat me hard. Like they would make me do more work, or they'd make it harsher on me because I had friends in other areas around the ship. So like my life, all my life on the ship was easier than theirs would, because I had friends that would either give me food or would like, I don't know, that people talk. I don't know. I just had more options of things I could do outside of work than they did. And they
Right.
held that against me as well. So I'd have to deal with that when I went to work with these people. And over years, it just started to build up. To one point, I was like, I don't even know if I still want to be in the military no more, because I didn't want to deal with that. And I just started to think like that was all there was there.
Because you're trapped. You were trapped in it, bro. I had the same thing happen when I went to my second duty station in Germany. I was an E5 promotable when I left. I was young and I was doing good on fast track, and got there. And you get to a chain of command that's put in place, and they're bringing people, frocking people to become the first sergeant that they're friends with. And dude, I had people really out to get me, man. I had to defend myself in more than one ways, more than one time, just before who I was. And I don't think anyone should have to deal with that in the military. You signing up to try to do something as a team. I like being on a team. I played sports, but I feel you on that, dude, because I went through the same stuff, and that changed my whole mindset from being a gung-ho soldier, thinking about staying in and doing stuff, to saying I'm ready to get out right now. I'm ready to go right now, and I'll go tomorrow if I'm ready. Because, dude, you get messed with from people that have more rank and stuff like that, and it's like, what I've heard from more than one person, and you as well, you don't really want to speak out, because it's almost like you get it thrown back in your face, or they try to throw their rank back in their face, or they try to sweep it underneath the rug and pretend it never happened. And that's just the wrong way to do it. So I'm sorry that you had to go through something like that, dude, but I feel you on it, because I did the same thing. Even my third duty station, my last duty station in Fort Carson, I had shitbags as leaders, man, plain and simple. You're playing spades with somebody, you run a 10 for 2 on them, they call you a bitch. Call them something right back, and then they try to pull an E7 rank. Nah, you already called me out my name. You play in military when you want to, but there is a problem in the military with people get that rank and they go on a power trip, and obviously we both experienced that. I think the military is still good. What's up?
I know that. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, man. So it's like I never want to. I don't think the military as a whole is bad, but when you get under that garbage leadership, it turned your mouth sour real quick. So. Like, what did you do to get out of that, dude? Because, like, that's not fun. And I'm sure that year felt like 5, because you're just doing it every day on top, garbage on top. It's almost like you're in fight or flight for all the wrong reasons when you're just trying to show up and do your job, but you're getting, like you said, ostracized like that. That's kind of sad.
Whew, so I dealt with that for about 2 years. So that puts me at my third, going into my 4th year. Right,
Yeah.
Time to get out, but almost.
Yeah.
So and we ended up having a silver lining, or at least for me, we ended up getting a new chief. Now, because it was time for our chief to finally leave, we get a new chief. Chief happens to be a black dude, and I was like, okay, I'm not alone anymore. Like, not only was I, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I felt super happy, because like first I was like, not only am I not alone, but he's got rank. So I'm like,
yeah,
in my corner. And
hopefully.
That was true, actually. He had my back. And I remember throughout, like me like working with him, and then we changed our divo. And again, I felt like the divo had something racist. Honestly, I'm sure he did, because I could think of all types of different examples. But he left. Now I'm in my last year, but I'm gonna be honest. After those 2 years of what I had to go through, there wasn't much that they could do to make me stay. Now I'm gonna be honest though. When I got to my last year, I had an entirely different command. They were
Okay.
awesome. My Divo, he was this nice, cool, fresh, like 25-year-old dude, fresh out of college, a real nice dude. Chief, now I'm not the only black guy in the division anymore. You got our one of my friends who he came to the ship like a year before me. Really, 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 like, dude was crazy how smart he was. Like, ridiculous how smart he was. Messed around, got promoted to like first class E6 in a time frame that no one thought was possible. So I ended up getting like around my last year a better situation with my command, which made things better, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest, my mind was already like, I didn't tell you this, but in that 2 year frame, when I was going through all of that, I was like, okay, I'm getting out the Navy. Like,
Yeah.
I had decided in that 2 year window that I was getting out the Navy, but that's when I got into looking into business and figuring out, because that's when it made me come back around to that. Like, okay, you know what? I started reading books. The first book I read was a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Absolutely. Robert
And
Kiyosaki.
that opened up my mind, like, there's other things I can do to generate income. And that's when I really started to look. Not to mention, also at the time, my credit score was horrendous. I mean, I had like a 480 or something like that.
Yeah.
Growing up, the way I grew up, I never learned about financial literacy. Like, you know what I mean? And a lot of people in the black community have the same problem. Like, just not taught this kind of stuff. Now, I ended up actually meeting some individuals that were in Jackson where I was stationed at that actually helped me fix my credit.
Okay.
But after they helped me fix my credit, they showed me that I could work with them, helping other people fix their credit. So that's what got me into like doing something different, or it gave me an option of what I could do besides being in the Navy. So what I started to do is I would just, go to work, handle my Navy duties, go to work. And the second I got off of work, whatever time that was, I started learning what I could about credit. I started finding people I could help with their credit. I started just building that and working on that on my part-time time as much as I could, so that I could start getting into that field, so that I could be ready when it was time for me to clock out of the Navy, that I already had something going for me.
Okay. So you started devising that game plan while you're in, and it's something that you found that you liked, and you just pretty much went full-fledged and just dove in before it was time to get out.
Yes. Basically.
That's not bad. So what about did you ever hurt yourself in the military? Did you ever have to, like, what did sick call look like for you guys? Do you want to touch on kind of that? You could touch on anything like that if you want, because while you're still in, or is that something that you looked at when you got out the military fully?
Yeah, I didn't really look into, so as far as like, I guess, sick, like the disability or the VA, I didn't look into any of that until I was getting out. I didn't even know about it until like my last couple of months. But I remember, so this circles back around to those 2 years again.
Yeah.
I actually had a surgery on my left hand ring finger.
Okay.
And currently right now, I can't bend this finger. I can't straighten this finger, and the nerves are horrendous. Like, I can't even feel it sometimes. And if I do feel it, it might hurt.
Okay.
I got the surgery in the Navy. I had physical therapy going on at the time once I got out of surgery. Now, the way my physical therapy was it was Monday through Friday, 2 hours a day, basically. So I had to leave work early every single day. Now, that became a problem. Looking back at it now, I don't even understand why it was a problem, because we were in port. I had already done 2 deployments.
Yeah.
Why did it even matter? Thinking back now, but I wasn't thinking that then. I let them get in my head, because they started to do things. Like, I saw it happening. Rank advancement time came around. Well, Pender, you're always at these appointments. You're never here to work. We had to give those MP points to the other dude. And I'm like, so now I'm missing opportunities because I'm in physical therapy, but I'm only in physical therapy for this surgery that I did at the Navy's, like, and I had to start dealing with that. And I literally was missing opportunity, and my division started to resent me. Like, I remember one day I was sitting there in the office, and it was getting close time for me to leave, and I heard someone say, man, Pender gets to leave early every single day, and now we gotta stay here and clean up his mess. And I'm like, bro, what are y'all mad at me for? I'm the one in physical, like what? Like I'm just going to physical therapy. I'm not leaving to leave and be off. I'm
Yeah.
going to do something. And it was, and that was another thing actually that influenced my decision to like, yo, find something else to do as soon as it's time to get out. Go do that because it's got to be better than this. Because I'm tired of this and having to go through what all that like that mental anguish because I literally had to make a decision. And now looking back, I made the wrong decision. I chose to go and work rather than go to physical therapy.
So you switched? Did you switch it around then? Like after the people got on your head and you just stopped going to physical therapy?
Yeah.
That's trash, dude. Yeah, you had peer pressure almost like, and that's messed up, dude. Because like at the end of the day, like you said, even if you did that off the clock, you're still trying to rehabilitate yourself to become the better version of yourself to get back to normal the best you can, right? Like, dude, I broke my foot in Afghanistan. I flew out on a medevac. Like I was playing basketball, so it wasn't like nothing combat. But I came back same night in like space boot, dude, like on another Chinook helicopter. But it's like sometimes I guess what I'm trying to say is like in the military, sometimes like you try to throw yourself way to the back burner and like don't care. You're like, oh, I gotta get back to work. But like you had the right idea at first of, dude, I gotta take care of my finger. Like, what if you, like you said, like now you're having problems. What if you would have done the rehab? But it's like then you got people in your corner talking trash about you when they should be like, you know what, Pinder, go ahead, man, take care of yourself. Take it. That's what I think a good leader would do. And we're not 2 hours, dude. Like you said, you're not watching the radar or like you're not out at war in a combat zone. You're in a port or doing something. Like everyone deserves the time to take care of themselves. Now, anyone that was talking that trash to you, what if they were in your shoes? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you think they would act almost? But it's like when you have so much stuff stacked against you, it's like you want to probably say something. You want to let that inner Miami out. But it's like at the same time, then you get a double-edged sword. You get a UCMJ or this guy's this. And it's like, damn, man, you still got a right to speech and you still have a right to say what you want. But unfortunately, when you have I've been there, bro, just in different scenario, I've had the deck stacked against me. And it's not fun, dude. It's not fun. But I guess it builds character in us and like it made us better because we didn't give up and we didn't let someone else get over on us. And, you know, appreciate you sharing that because you didn't have to. And, you know, it's sad, but you look back on it, it just adds, you know, to your story, right? So.
Yeah, just another reason to be
another reason not to give up, man. It's like, you know, you didn't give up in those times when stuff was way harder and you had now we're out. We don't have anyone talking shit if we got to go to physical therapy, maybe your wife or your kids, you know, whatever. But they're not going to be bashing you to try to take care of yourself. They want, you know, the people around you, as the people in the military they should want the best for you, right? Even if they don't like you that much, they should still want good on you. You're still part of the organization. So like
all that sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, like so the new chief that you got at the very end of your time, was he the one that sort of helped you with your disability or like sort of did you ever have the mentorship for, hey, Pinder, what you doing when you get out? You got a plan? You know what I mean? I didn't have that. No one asked me, no one give a damn, dude. So what about you?
He was the person. So crazy enough, I know earlier you said that you started talking about real estate.
Yeah.
So me and him actually had a lot in common besides our skin color. He actually was also working entrepreneur things while he was even while climbing the ranks to chief at E7, he was also an entrepreneur running his own business. I think he had written a children's book at some point.
Nice.
He was working in real estate. He was doing like house flipping and all that cool stuff.
Yeah.
And we would talk about that kind of things. Like I'd be like, yo, how do you teach me about this kind of stuff? Like teach me a little bit about this real estate and how this stuff works and show me. He actually showed me a couple of really good books, but he like started to teach me things and we talked about, and he showed me like, okay, this is more than just like, I'm going to be your chief. And we're going to talk about how work. Like I'm going to help you in life.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to lie, a couple of times, him and my new devil, they almost got me. They was like, you sure you want to get out, man? I mean, I'm like, and it's us now. Like, I know the other people was messed up, but like, it's not always like that. And I'm like, I already dedicated my new plan. Other people kind of really messed it up for me. I know y'all are cool, but I know you. But that was happening. So once we really was like, okay, you're really gonna get out. I remember he sat me down one day. He goes, hey, before you get out, go to medical. as often as you can. I'm like, as often as I can. Y'all, I got in trouble for going medical. I got in trouble going medical a year ago.
Yeah.
Why should I be going now? I was confused about it, right? I was
Right.
like, as often as you can. He had me literally one day, like it was like a couple of it was like one day we were in port. He goes, hey, when you get off, go home and call the VA. He told me to call the VA that day. He's like, call the VA, tell them you're getting out soon, and put in your intent to file. And I was like, I didn't even know what that was. I just because my chief told me to. I'm glad he did though, because when the VA money came around, I got back paid for way back then. But yeah, as I was getting out, he actually, gave me little tips and told me a few things that I could do to get that ball rolling. And that was like honestly one of the first instances of when I met like people in my command that like genuinely cared. Now, honestly, I tell them I tell them all the time. I was like, man, if you were my first chief, I probably wouldn't have got out. I was like, maybe if you were the chief that I had first met, my Navy career may have lasted longer. But I can't risk going to another command and getting somebody like my other dude.
Yeah, or you could have had him good at first, and you could have switched 2 years later and had the bad chief, and then it's like dude. That's what I always tell people, bro. It's like the military itself is a great pillar, a stepping stone to success in life. I feel like, but the people are gonna make or break it, bro. Because you get them the good chain of command, it make your life easy, even if you're in a garbage place. You get a bad chain of command, and you could be in the best place, and then make your life live in hell, dude. So, what so your plan when you got out were you planning on doing the credit repair, right? Was that the business venture that you're going to start off on doing?
Yeah. I fell in love with it, honestly.
You still doing that? Did you follow through with it and take it up when you got out, or are you still doing it now, or how'd that go for you?
Oh man, yeah. So that's been a ride. Okay, so that's been the ride, honestly, because it was after I got my credit in order while I was in the Navy.
Yeah.
I started, helping people. I actually, at one point before I got out, I actually had a financial literacy class that I was hosting in one of the rooms on the ship.
Okay.
And people in the command, like people on the ship, would come down and hear me talk about credit and finance and stuff like that. Okay. So I really started to really get into it. And when it was time for me to get out, that's what I did. I just started hard handing, just working on helping people with their credit, getting as much as I can. Now, after all of that happened, I actually started to acquire different partnerships. I started working with more people. I started partnering with attorneys, helping people with debts and not just credit. Wow. Then I started working, and then I started getting into real estate. Now I have the loan officers. Now I help people get homes and credit. Like we do so much now as far as helping people get financially free and become homeowners. It's ridiculous because it hits deep right there. Like right now, I remember I literally called up some of my friends I was serving with. One homeless, one lives with his mom, and then like 3 of them are like renting with roommates. And I'm like, why? Like use your VA loan, go get a house. Like
they don't know, bro. They don't know, man. It's not like they don't want to, so no one knows.
Yep. So having something that I could provide to people, like I don't know, I'm a Christian man, right? From the Bible. Yep. Service to many leads to greatness. How many people can I serve? And not just serve, but like how many people can I impact? Like I want to impact and change lives. Like again, right? I always tell people like back when I was in the Navy and someone say thank you for your service, that felt good, because I did serve. Thank you for my service. But that was just what you say to people that are in the military.
Yeah.
When I helped this lady, I remember her lady. It's like her name was Latika James. Like I met her almost a year and a half ago, roughly. And she had like a very low credit score. I should have said her whole name like that. I feel bad for saying her whole name now I'm thinking about it. But she made up with her credit. She wanted to buy a home. And she talked to a lender. They told her, hey, you can't get no house. Like with the way your credit's looking, unless you come into some really big money, you might as well give up on the home.
Wow. Not even trying to help her, not even trying to sit down and figure out, hey, how do we fix this? That's why you came in, probably.
Yep. I got connected with her. It took us like maybe 6, almost 8 months.
Okay.
Got her turned around. She became a homeowner. And I remember that lady invited me to her daughter's birthday party. Cause
Absolutely.
like I was a family friend at this point. She's like, "Yo, this the dude Alan who helped me get the house, who helped me get my credit fixed." And like that, yo, it's hard to even explain how that feels when like someone genuinely is thanking you because of what you did to change their lives, and that
Yeah.
gratitude, that personalness, it hits so differently. And that's when I was like, bro, I want to do this. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because if helping one person felt that good, what about 100 or 1,000 or 100,000? I mean, shoot, I literally looked at the poll yesterday. There's over 50 million people in the US right now that need help with their credit. And last year, over, I think, 10 or so million people got denied to get homes.
Yeah, it's been getting harder with the interest rate going up. It's going to make your purchasing power a lot lower with the, well, and you're right. That probably sounds low, dude. There's like 300 something million people live. It's probably almost 100 people because a lot of people live in check to check or credit. I was there. I did it when I was in the military, dude. I mean, hey, going to Iraq, I'm swiping all of this 8,000 on American Express. I don't even know if I'm gonna come back, right? You just live in that life of putting everything on credit, and then you got to find out about interest rates. What about people in AIT going to buy cars on the weekend when you just got an overnight pass and get hit with 12, 11, 18% interest? People don't know. It's because we're not taught financial literacy in the schools. I mean, especially if you're coming from your mom and dad only teaches what they know how to do. It's not that they don't want to teach you about finance. It's about, hey, they might not even have known it themselves. So it's like, I'm like you, man. I'm trying to build up more. Like you said, I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad and just like want to become more financially literate. You said you have a little one. I got a son, and we don't want to only do it for us. We want to do it for our family. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier for them and leave a little piece of the pie. We don't have to let BlackRock and all these hedge funds get everything. We can get a little piece of the pie. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Or we can get our own veteran hedge fund going someday. That's what I'm thinking, man.
That's really cool. I've never even. Ooh, I'm gonna write that down.
You know what I'm saying? Or it doesn't even have to be it could be a hedge fund, or like, why don't we have like veteran, like, dude, like, okay, there has to be more trust. We all trusted each other. Well, most of us trusted each other, like when we were in the good people we served with. But it's like, why don't we have like all of us like pooling our VA loans together, or even just money to buy condo? Like, I don't know, man. Just think of stuff like that. Like when you're young in the military, you're not thinking about coming home and like buying an apartment building or like fourplex or a quadplex or something like that. But if you could go back and do it again when you're making that money, obviously you'd be like, oh, I got to buy for the future. But when you're in the military, you just live that fast life, dude. You're going out, you're going on deployment, you come back, you want to go to the club, you're young, but it's like, you're still young, man. I mean, I feel like I am too. So, we're moving in the right direction, and I think we're onto something, dude. So, and I know that you said that you want to help 100,000 veterans, right? 100,000 people, or 100,000 veterans. Just what's your mission?
So, okay, specifically, I want to help 1 million people over the next 10 years become homeowners. Now, in that 1 million people, specifically, I want to help veterans because I know what it'd be like. Yeah. I want to help African Americans because I know what it'd be like.
Absolutely.
And anybody else along the way.
Yeah, that's great, dude. I mean, and it's great to aim high, because like, why limit yourself to say you only want to help 100? Because then you'll, 100 people, I want you to do a little bit. Aim high. That way, if you fall short, you're still up there in the hundreds of thousands of people, man. So I applaud you for that. And if anyone's looking, I think we're going to have to do another call sometime, or series of calls, and get all the real estate SMEs on, and just have like a roundtable discussion, or just like, just encourage veterans to use their benefits, man. Because like, you could use your disability, up that, get more for your mortgage. But a lot of people just aren't educated on it. So I think it'd be great to have you back on, and whoever else that might be in the real estate industry, and just have a open discussion and see where that takes us. Because, hey man, it's another way to freedom, dude. It's not fast. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's the long game, right? You have a house. even if you pay an extra payment on the principal every year, within the 25 years, your 30-year mortgage could be paid off just by one extra payment a year. And you buy a house when you're 20 years old and you pay that thing off in 25 years, you're only 45, man.
Hey,
You're not that old, dude. You can ride off to the sunset and go back to the pool in Jordan, dude.
I like that.
Go.
I like another thing that you just said too is like it's not get rich quick, because I always tell people that, like, whenever I talk about how I can help them with investments or help them generate passive income, I always say, listen, this ain't get rich quick. This is more like get rich slow.
Yeah.
Than get rich never.
Absolutely, dude. But no, it goes to, we all want everything now, instant gratification, as everyone likes to say, right? I mean, we all want to, yeah, sure, we all want it, but all things don't work like that, dude. So, what else you've been working on, like, since you've been out? Have you used any other benefits from the VA? Have you used any programs or anything like that you've been in contact with that have really helped you out?
Yeah, so I used my VA loan. I actually got my home last year when I was 23 years old. So that
good
was
for you.
Exciting. I remember one of my dudes was like, "You the youngest homeowner I know," and I was like, "Oh, well, thank you. I guess that seemed pretty cool here."
Yeah,
that was the first thing I did. It wasn't until maybe a month-ish ago I got connected with this other gentleman. He served in the Army as well. He had 400% disability. He has his kids in school. The VA's paying for it and everything like that. But he asked me, like, yo, what's your disability? Do you have disability? What's your disability yet? I was like, I'm about 40%. He goes, man, I can help you get that higher. And I was like, I don't, how? Like, what are you talking about? He literally helped me go to the VA, get set up with the VA card for the insurance.
Yeah.
Get my first physical walkthrough, helped me do the whole. So he even taught me, like, hey, when you get there, this is what you want to focus on. Like, anything that's ailing you, anything that hurts, write it down on a piece of paper before your appointment goes. That way, before you get there, you know everything that you need and everything that's going on in your body. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I got he really helped me get prepared and showed me, like, okay, I could help myself get more disability, because there is more wrong. Like I was saying earlier, my finger, I don't get any disability from my finger. They wouldn't even let me do physical therapy again. But after working with him, he helped me get connected properly. Now I'm actually going to be back. I actually do have an opportunity to get the physical therapy that I was asking for. It starts like next month, I think. I literally just got started in this process. I think my first appointment's next month. Okay. But I've actually finally got connected with somebody that's helping me do that. But I found out it wasn't just me. What he's doing, what I was like, you know what, dude, I want to help you do, because I know how the struggle is.
Yeah.
Actually working to help other people in our local city. Now, I love what you're doing, because you're going past the local city. You're like wide with it.
Trying, man. And like what you guys are doing there, it'd be good to do. Like, I know we have veteran groups too, but just like you said, even if it's just like an informal meetup, and hey, tell me what you're struggling with, and tell me what we could possibly help you with. Try to point someone in the right. I'm not a VSO, but I know how to get you to the right direction, or how to do the intent to file. But a lot of times, I guess people probably feel helpless, right? Because they just don't think everything's stacked against them. And, it is kind of hard to pull yourself out of the mud, but it's not impossible. You know what I mean? Like, it's not impossible, dude. Like you said, like, God believing men, right? Like, you're not going to get anything dished to you that you can't handle. You know what I mean? Like, everything's already set. It's just up to us to keep going and not give up. And it's been hard at times. I'm sure it's been hard for you too, but it's like, dude, once you have a kid and you got family, or even if you have nobody, dude, you're not meant to just give up on yourself. There's other people relying on you, whether it's your family, your friends, maybe even a stranger you never even met before, man. But like, we all have a greater purpose here. So, and that's why I'm linking up with all people like you, all these great veterans, dude, with all these stories, man, because I think it's what's meant to happen. We all need to share our stories. There's millions of veterans, and a lot of people think they don't matter, or they think, oh man, I'm not as cool as Alan. Dude, we're not, it's not playing the cool game, dude. We're all sharing, like, I'm a cook, bro. Like, people might think that's dull. Oh, you weren't special forces. Who cares? There's thousands of people that were cooks. There's thousands of people that watch radar in the military over all these years, dude. Your story matters. Everyone's stories matter. So if you're listening and you think, you're not up to par, that's a lie. Don't let the enemy get in your head. whoever you think that is, but your story does matter, and I'd be happy to have you on and listen to it because it could help somebody else. So yeah, dude, like we got to just keep building out the community. I know there's a lot of people out here doing great things for veterans, a lot of organizations, but what's one thing that you struggle with the most when you first separated? What do you think? Or what were the struggles of separation from service?
It was more an emotional thing.
Okay.
So like I was saying before, right? 2 years out, those 2 years I went through, I had to get emotionally tough because I was
Absolutely.
something different every day with these people. So I had to get emotionally tough. When I got back, and also, just being, remember when I left to go into boot camp, I hadn't been back home. Like, because we had the deployment, then we had another deployment, then we had then I had like a little time I got to go to Florida for a little while because I was stationed in Florida, but
Yeah.
I couldn't leave the state. Then COVID happened, so we couldn't travel. So
Okay.
like 3-4 years, I wasn't around anybody that like family. I wasn't around any of them. I was around these people. That's who they were to me. These people.
Yeah.
Until like my 4th year, until I got close with my last command before I got out. Before that, it was just friends and people that I work with for 3-4 years straight. So emotionally, I didn't care. Like, I didn't care about none of these people. They're just people to me.
Yeah.
And then I got back home and I'm with my family, and it's like everyone's like, that family love, that family warmth. I didn't have it. I generally just didn't have it. And at first, my mom was getting nervous. She's like, "Yo, you okay? Like, you good?" Like, we be like joking and laughing and stuff, and you'd be sitting there looking all somber and serious. And it wasn't until they would tell me these things, like they'd be like, "Yo, Alan, you good? You look upset." I'm like, "No, I'm just sitting here." You know what I mean? Like, give me little things like that. But I started to realize, like, the time I had spent away in the military had changed me a little bit, like emotionally or mentally. It kind of made me, I don't know, more hard, or like
It like desensitized you a little bit, man.
yeah,
You're just like, yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Basically. And I had to really get back into being a normal person, I guess, if that makes any sense.
How'd that happen for you? What like? What took place after them saying? Did you just like sort of kick it into gear, or just like a little bit of what happened?
After they were saying it to me, I started to take like a real, like, what's the word? Like a mental note of it, and like
Yeah.
I actively worked on it. Like,
Okay.
after I would hear that, I was like, "What do you mean? Like, I seem like I'm being distant, or like I'm like more quiet and things of that nature. Or like I don't want to talk to." It's like things like that. Like, because I'm gonna be honest, the way I grew up, like, people knew me. I'm a very talkative person. Like, I used to get in trouble for talking too much in class. So when I came back and I'm quiet and stuff, they're thinking like, "Yo, what the hell did he see out there?"
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I realized, and when I realized, I didn't realize that until outside looking in, they were telling me about the change that they noticed. So when I noticed that they noticed, or I noticed the change that they were noticing, I started to like actively or consciously work on it. And like I would read, that's when I got really into personal development. I started reading personal development books, listening to audios. Like, dude, I listen to it. My lady gets kind of annoyed about it, but 30 minutes every day, I listen to something motivating, something positive, something
Absolutely.
spiritual, something every day.
Who do you like in that? Who do you like in that sector? I like that. I like that sector too of all that stuff, motivational speaking.
Man, watch this: Jim Rohn, Eric Thomas, Brian Tracy,
Les Brown.
Les Brown.
Miami, stand up.
He's from Miami and he lives in Ohio.
Yeah, he was in the government in Ohio, right?
Yes,
He went yeah, dude. You hit all of that. Yeah, Eric Thomas, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, all them people, man. Goggin, all different stuff. But that's cool though, man. We're on the same wavelength on that because all that stuff's great, dude. I mean, because you're taking action to it. Just don't listen to it and do nothing. That gets you motivated, dude. Like, what's the other dude's name that used to play football? I think it's like Iggy.
Oh,
yeah.
Iggy.
Yeah, Iggy Thomas or Iggy something. He heard he got he played football. Remember,
Yeah,
like
almost died
Tennessee.
with the heart.
Yeah, the heart. Yeah, he got a good story too, man. But yeah, dude, like, and so do we. We all have that because we've all been through something before and seen the triumph on the other side, man. So that's cool. And hey, man, share what you got offline, man. If I ever run anything good, but hey, one day it's gonna be you and I up there doing them. Hopefully, that's always something I love, man. Motivational speaking, dude. Gotta love that, dude. Fire everybody up.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually kind of do that these days. So
There
I
you go.
actually just I just recently started. So I'm working a little bit more on community impact events.
Okay.
Like I've been going to churches and like talking to like I got set up with this one bishop at a church near mine to go and speak to her congregation about financial literacy, home ownership, and credit.
Nice, dude.
And I'm also working now. We got connected with these other individuals. They're working on something called like a passive income seminar.
Okay.
But basically, I don't even listen. I think by the grace of God, they even put my name on the list. But I guess they just picked people in Columbus, Ohio that are making passive income, and they decided that, hey, I want you to come out and teach people about passive income, what it is, some options they can do, and things of that nature. And I was like, sure, I'd love to do that.
Absolutely.
But those are things that I'm also working to do, not even just building a business or just selling credit or just selling homes. Like I have a literal goal to create a huge impact. Like I want to be remembered in a book or something one day for just helping the masses, doing something so great that after me, it was known for that. Like you know what I mean? Like when you think of training or certain things, you think of a name. Like, you don't even think of a subject, depending on what it is. You think of a name.
Right.
I want to be in that list. Like you think of like people who do positive things. People like Gandhi, Jesus, I don't know, Martin Luther King, Kennedy. You start thinking of names.
Yeah.
When things like that happen, I want to be one of those names that people just think of.
You can, bro. If you can, it's unlimited. Hey, man, if you believe it and God wants you to, if that's your mission, why not?
Dang, yes.
Why not, dude? So strive on, dude. Keep going, man. Keep doing that. You're young, you motivated, and keep going, dude. And I'm sure the more you put yourself out there, as I've been finding out, the more I put myself out there to think, like sometimes you're like, we're our own worst enemy, right? Like at the end of the day, dude, you think you're maybe not good enough or no one cares. But at the end of the day, dude, you get out there, you'd be surprised how many people actually want to see you succeed. And I never met you before. I want to see you succeed. I want to see everybody succeed for the most part, unless you're doing something foul. But I mean, like, dude, you're going to find people along the way, as I'm sure you already have, that are going to be along for your ride. And what someone told me before, my friend Braid, she said, once we start going on our own journey, we got to start looking for our own board of directors, dude, like your own chain of command, whatever you want to do it. Like not to, have people on our team that are going to hold us accountable, that are going to be able to tell us the truth, or sort of someone that's already like a mentor, man. And that's something that seems like you had a taste of it in the military. I had a taste of it too, but it wasn't what it should have been. You know what I mean? For the platform that we're on. You're in the military, dude. You should have good mentorship, man. You got all types of ranks, all type of walks of life, dude. You shouldn't have to be out searching for it like we are, in the civilian sector. That should be taught. But, we live and learn, and now we take what didn't happen for us, and we make it happen for others, right? So what would you tell someone that is either going through what you went through for those 2 years, that went through it, or that may possibly have to face that one day? What would you tell them if you could go back? Or not even go back. What would you have to say to them for encouragement, or just how to deal with it?
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, for one. But two, don't be like me. Don't just hold it in. Talk to somebody. Because I remember I didn't talk to nobody. I was just mad every day. I just went home mad every day. And then I went in there mad that I had to go in there every day.
Yeah.
And it hurt my morale so much to the point where I didn't even want to go. I didn't want to talk to people sometimes. Try your best to talk to somebody. If you don't feel comfortable talking to the people in your command, call your family back home. Talk to one of your friends that's on the ship with you, because odds are they can relate. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the things with me. Like most of my friends, I was like, man, my chief did this. He was like, bro, my first class did this. And I was like, okay, now we got something to talk about.
Yeah.
So you don't want to sit in the mess or spend too much time dwelling in it. But if it's really hindering you, if it's something that's like really always on your mind, try your best to get it off your chest. Also, personal development. Even if you're not going through anything, even if your life is okay, I still recommend you do some personal development. We went over a couple of the names. I'll go over them again. Jim Rohn, Eric Thomas, Ryan Tracy,
Zig Ziglar.
yes, like all of these people, just go on YouTube. You can look them up for free. Listen to something like that. 15 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm telling you, just hearing something positive to offset the negative that you're
Absolutely.
going through will
Yeah.
dramatically change your mindset, which will help you be more productive, which will help you in the future.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I couldn't say it better myself. And you're right. It was so programmed with so much negative stuff coming down the pipeline, dude. You gotta get something positive in there, dude. And yeah, I used to go to work mad a lot too, and it weighs and wears on your mental health, dude. You know what I mean? It's like you can't talk to if you don't think you can talk to your command. A lot of people don't probably want to do this, but you can maybe I don't know if they have it in the Navy per se, but like in the Army, you can go to Inspector General, or you can go to like you gotta go to a. Sometimes you have to go to an outside entity, is what I'm saying. Still in the military, but someone that's an outsider that can hear both sides of the story and be impartial when they're recommending something, or that could help you because sometimes it's almost like a mutiny, dude, or whatever you want to. I don't. Maybe that's not the right word. Sometimes it's just like the odds are stacked against you, and you feel like you can't make a move with what you have there. But a lot of people probably all have fear because I mean, I made the rank of staff sergeant. That was the highest rank I ever made. So it's like if you got a sergeant major or something like that gunning for you, or a first sergeant, like yeah, you might be intimidated by the rank factor because you think they have there, but they still have to be fair. And I don't think you were done fair. But I'm glad that you were able to come on here and share your experiences and just like where you are today. And I know that you're going to keep doing great things, man, because I know you got it in you. You're motivated. You're dedicated. You got God on your side. And at the end of the day, dude, like, hey, I appreciate you coming on here and sharing. So, yeah, no problem. You want to share anything else that you might have on your head? First, share where anyone can find you if they're interested in, in getting their credit fixed, or they might want to work on a house. Where can someone find you at?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, my
Oh,
name
you're
is
good.
Alan Pender. You can go on Facebook, type in my name, Alan Pender. You're gonna see a picture just like me. On my page, you see my whole family. That's how you can find now on social media. Or
Okay.
you just text the word credit or home buyer to 614-906-8682. That's my business personal phone number. One more time, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
614-906-8682. You can reach out to me personally and we can do a consultation, completely free consultation. I don't charge anybody to see what they need help with. And if we decide that what we have can help you or there is value that you can take from us, then we can talk about what we can do and how much to charge or anything like that after we decide that what we have can be of value to you.
Okay. All right. Hey, how was the food in the Navy, man? Was good?
Oh, I wanted to say that earlier.
Yeah, go ahead.
About how you were a cook. Listen,
Yeah.
man, those are my favorite people. You guys were my favorite, dude. I'm dead serious. Most of my friends were the cooks. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I rarely had to wait in line. My food, and I know you know how them lines get.
Oh yeah. By the boatload, man. I know. Yeah, they're nonstop, dude.
They used to be mad at me, see me walking past them with a plate in my hand, like, well, get connected better. But anyways, I really had to wait in line. My food was always fresh. I could literally go up to I just go in the kitchen, and I was friends with literally somebody on every shift. I would just go in there and be like, yo, who's in here today? Hey, bro, can you make me some pancakes? Hey, bro, can you make me some chicken? And also, I love what y'all used to do because since y'all were the cooks, y'all had all the food and all the ingredients. Y'all would make food sometimes that wasn't on the menu for everybody else.
Man, who told you that? Nah, that's what you.
Oh,
Nah, nah. I mean, dude. Hey, you wouldn't try to do it all the time, but yeah, I mean, like you said, you have access to all the food, man. You know. Yeah, you're right.
I remember eating food that nobody else could eat. They'd be like, "Where you get lemon pepper wings from?" I'm like, "Don't worry about that."
You told him Wingstop, right? Wingstop. Ross sent him, man, from Wingstop, dude.
That lie maybe would have worked if we weren't in the middle of the ocean. If we weren't in the middle.
Dude, no, I've heard good things about Navy, the galleys, man. They say they throw down pretty good, so I just never getting sea legs, never going in the Navy, bro. I get sick on a cruise ship, dude. I'm not built for the Navy. Bro, I got sick on a cruise ship, man. So yeah, man. But hey, I appreciate you coming on, dude. You got anyone that you might want to call out for a call to action that might want to come on here and share their story? What about your Army friend or anyone else that you know that's doing their thing and that could, you know, share their story with the world, man?
I do actually. So it's crazy because before we actually got on this podcast, I was speaking with one of my friends who I served in the Navy with because he's actually in real estate as well. But he does property management stuff.
Okay.
And I was telling him, I was like, yo, I just got connected with this other dude who's working with vets to go on podcasts, talking about what they're doing. Like, hey, I'm gonna see if I can get you guys connected. So you guys can meet each other.
Let's go.
So, yeah, I actually have two people that I was thinking about. The man who helped me with my VA, getting that set up, and my other friend who's actually working in property management, I'm not sure exactly what he's doing in the property management. We didn't talk that much details on it, but that's something we can figure out later. But I know that's what
All right, so hey, y'all heard it, man. My boy Alan called y'all out. Get on here, share your story for the betterment of the military community, man. 22 suicides, 21. Any suicide today is too many. We all know people that have taken their own life. That's not the way to go, and we're all sorry to hear that. And we're just trying to bring light and great things are being done by the military veterans, by the military community. And that stuff needs to have the light on it, not all the negative things that are happening. So hopefully this brought value to someone's life. I know it will. And, just think about your guys' subconscious mind, your mindset. Think about listening to something positive every day and thinking about my boy Alan's story, man. Both of our stories, right? We overcame some stuff that was pressed against us and we're living to see another day. So I appreciate y'all listening in. If you guys are a veteran or know someone that may want to share their story, don't hesitate to reach out, leave a comment, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do on the YouTube. And look forward to having you guys on in the future. And appreciate you coming on today, brother, and being so vulnerable. And I look forward to getting that veteran hedge fund going with you. I look forward to investing in some properties maybe one day, man, and creating that generational wealth for our families, man.
Stay blessed. Yes, sir.
You got anything? You want to say anything else, or are you good?
Last thing.
Yes, sir.
Trust me. Do your best, and God gonna do the rest. That's all I got.
Hey, that's it, man. Amen to that. Y'all have a blessed one. Take care.